Hi guys, welcome back to Natasha's Narrative. We are now on the 20th episode of Natasha's Narrative and we're about 6 months in from when I first posted my first video. I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who subscribed, liked, watched, commented, shared, everything. Followed my Instagram page. Like, honestly, it's been amazing. Thank you to all the new subscribers. And I would like to say actually another thank you again to all of you guys who managed to watch the Instagram live that happened between myself and the Your Tutor Solutions company. So that was about med school tips, things about, I mentioned, we talked about interviews, we talked about UCAT, we talked about personal statement. I then again talked about my journey. So if you didn't manage to catch that, you can actually go onto the Your Tutor Solution page and you'll be able to watch the entire Instagram live, if I can get my words out. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much, and I'm just really looking forward to what the next 6 months are going to bring. I also, if you follow my Instagram page, you would have seen a couple of weeks ago I asked you guys whether you would want me to do a Q&A or like a competition / giveaway. Y'all wanna come for me and expose me, so you guys chose the Q&A. So I promised that I would do that once I got to 100 subscribers, so subscribe away, and once we get there I will ask everyone to either comment or message me on my Instagram page, and most questions will not be off limits, so ask away to your heart's content. But anyway, today we will not be talking about med school in that aspect, or for this episode I should say anyway. I'm just going to be talking about something that I did talk about a little bit during when I was talking about my med school journey, and it's got to do with obsession over passion. So I mentioned to you guys that when I didn't get in the first time, or the first couple of times, like, it was really heartbreaking for me, but I don't think you guys actually really realize how bad it was, because I wanted to make another video and talk about it. So I remember it didn't last long. I was never upset for a substantial amount of time, but it was enough for me to completely question my entire purpose. At that point, even though, yeah, I would have called myself Christian, but I felt like med school was my life. And when you're kind of gearing up, like, a majority of your, secondary school life, like, not even a majority, my entire secondary school life, I was just walking on that path of everything that I'm doing is to ensure that I have great grades, pick these certain GCSEs, pick these certain A-levels, go to med school. And I just felt like I'd literally been hit by a train and completely purposeless, and I was so heartbroken. But thankfully I've learnt now that, my entire first and primary purpose it has to be surrounding God. It has to revolve around God, and that, I think, helped provide me with so much clarity when I was actually applying. Definitely for this for when I was successful this time, but even for my third year application, I was a lot more level-headed and clear-headed, and that's because obsession is really a bad thing. And I think sometimes people get confused between obsession and passion. It's great to be passionate about things. I'm passionate about med school, I'm passionate about helping people, but when it becomes an obsession, it becomes a negative emotion that doesn't allow logic to then factor in, and you end up doing things without thinking clearly. So for example, when I was my first time that I was applying actually for med school, I was applicable for the extended program, and because of that I had to fill out some extra documentation, and I couldn't even do that right, and that's because I was not focused enough. Like, it's important, like I said, to be passionate about something that you want to do, to love it. But when you're obsessed, you're obsessing about a reality that doesn't exist yet, and you're fantasizing about something that doesn't exist yet, but you're not putting the steps forward to even do what you're supposed to be doing. Instead, you get lost and caught up in that world, and you actually end up becoming a lot more stagnant. And yeah, I was just really just idolizing this prospect, this dream, and I wasn't having a healthy kind of relationship with myself and wanting to go to med school. So of course everything was flopping. Like I mentioned in the IG live, I didn't really take the UCAT as seriously as I should have. I didn't think that it was as important as it is. And I would have known these things if I had spent more time looking at things like admissions policies, evaluating the websites fully. Even when I managed to get an interview during my gap year, I had an interview at Lancaster, and when I prepared for my interview, I knew it was MMI, but I prepared more kind of like in a traditional style. Again, something that doesn't make sense because my head was not aligned and it wasn't focused because I was too busy idolizing something that shouldn't have been my idol in the first place. And it ruined everything. So I would just say to you guys, yes, in whatever you're doing, take time and stop, especially if you're or someone of faith and you feel like this is your purpose and God has granted you this. Just remember the reason why you're doing it, and you know, as amazing as it is that you've been given this gift, remember to not be entirely centered upon this gift, that your life does not revolve around this gift, and that you're there to serve a higher purpose. And even to those who don't believe in God, make sure that you don't just think emotionally, that you are applying logic, that you are taking initiative, you are taking steps, because your dreams are not just going to happen by you just being, you just being in love with whatever you're doing. That's not how things work. You have to make sure that you are really looking into how can I progress forward. And I think, especially as someone who has not always, well, not, I'm not even going to say not always, especially as someone who had to resit and do certain things to be able to get my med school places, being able to take a step back and evaluate, okay, how come this was wrong? Like, so for another example, when I got rejected from my gap year interview, I didn't even call the uni and like ask them, oh, can I have feedback? Because I was just so upset. And that's not something sensible to do. Like, yes, of course, not getting in is upsetting. But if you don't know why you didn't get in, how are you supposed to improve in the first place? So make sure, guys, in whatever you're doing and whatever you're applying for, tread carefully and make sure to balance between your passion and being logical and taking steps, and don't become obsessed, because it might not even be your purpose in the long run. Maybe you're there to maybe you gearing towards that degree or that job, there'll be skill sets or there'll be people that you were supposed to meet, but at the end of the day it's not actually what you're supposed to do, and that's okay. So just always be prepared that you might not even end up where you thought you were gonna end up. That was just a little video that I wanted to put out there because it's been something that's been going through my mind quite a lot recently, and I hope that helps. So yeah, this is Natasha's narrative. I hope more of you guys subscribe and whatever. Yeah, make sure that you do so that you can... I know some of you people are really trying to come for me in this Q&A. I haven't got time for this. But yeah, make sure that you subscribe, you like, you follow my IG page to see what else I have going on, because I'm going to have some quite interesting videos coming up hopefully soon. So bye, much love, and see you for the next video. Or you'll see me anyway.